And Better World time, guys. Thanks for joining in once more. Guess what? Christian's back.
Hi, guys.
Yay. All right, shut up. All right, let's just jump straight into it. heraldsun.com.au, July 18th. It's all about Alzheimer's disease.
Yes, Alzheimer's disease. Unfortunately, by the year 2050, we're going to be looking at over 114 million cases of the disease, unfortunately. Now, Alzheimer's disease is triggered by a buildup of plaques and tangles of dead nerve cells in the brain.
Ew, need a good clean out.
Need a very good clean out, I think, for yourself there, Corey. Now, the good news is that Melbourne scientists have discovered 4 vital stages of the disease, of the development of the disease, 20 years before it actually begins, or actually gets to a critical point.
So you're talking preventative stages where we can still reverse the effects.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's it. So what they're doing at the moment is they're developing new blood tests, new methods to scan the brain for early detection of Alzheimer's disease. As I said, 20 years before it onsets.
So this is possibly looking at eventually eradicating Alzheimer's disease and all neurological degenerative diseases altogether. Now, the study group have announced on brainpet.org they're looking for volunteers for people over the age of 65. The catch is they have to be suffering some form of memory loss. So asking them to remember that website may be a bit too much.
So if you'd like to get involved, please log on to brainpet.org and be a volunteer, as long as, of course, you're over the age of 65.
Okay, one of our favourite websites here at Better World, news.discovery.com, August 14th. Apparently, our brains are still going even when we're dead.
Yes, what scientists have discovered is that the brain is still active 30 seconds after someone is clinically proposed dead.
Wow.
So what this means is, where you hear the stories about people seeing a bright light at the end of the tunnel, is that they may actually be telling the truth. They may be witnessing something that we do not quite understand yet. Does this actually mean that there is life after death? Not sure. But what we are certain about is that there is a very strong electrical signature within the brain that happens to these mice that have been tested on.
Now, don't worry, these mice were in a controlled environment. They were anaesthetized, so they were nice and asleep, and then we induced them into cardiac arrest.
I wish we could put you under cardiac arrest.
I
sometimes.
missed you, Christian.
So obviously in heaven there's going to be a lot of lab mice.
Who are probably a little pissed off.
Yes.
Mark us into the question, what happens after we die?
Indeed. And could we possibly have more information on that aspect before someone actually dies? Could this actually propose the answer to the meaning of life or life after death?
Maybe. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Possibly.
All right, lastly, a blast from the past, April 8th on earthfirstnews.wordpress.com. That's a big one. Is all about the bees, Christian, and specifically, where did they go?
Where did they go?
I'm glad you asked. Ever since the 1990s, scientists have discovered bees have been rapidly dying and disappearing, so much so that it's threatening our production of crops. Now, a controversially wrapped company called Monsanto has actually released some robotic bees since 2009 to help keep the uptake of crops and pollinating fields.
So does this mean like bees are just going to be gone entirely and we're just going to see these robotic bees from now on?
I don't think that all bees will be gone, but it's interesting to see science taking a leading foot in terms of what nature's always done for us. We can monitor, track, increase productivity, and eventually keep food supply up for our ever-growing population. There's even talks of these futuristic bees being outfitted with chemically enhanced stingers to ward off predators, but that sounds a little like something out of Skynet, so I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it sounds like killer bees could take over the world, potentially.
Something out of a Michael Keaton novel.
I'd like to own a few of those bees and potentially, ward off any thieves or like vandals or something like that.
I think you might have to do a few psych tests before they let you buy robotic bees.
Please tune in next week. Feel free to send us an email and replace this guy, because I want you to do that. And thanks very much for watching, guys. Please see you again next time.